guys, it's Julia and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be my August reading wrap up. I can't believe that August is already over, and so I read 5 books in August. I think in comparison to my July reading wrap up, it's not as much, but then again I did read quite a lot of books in July, but I still think that that 5 books are still quite good. So yeah, let's get into it. So I read all of these books in August, and I'm gonna go through them one by one. So the first one that I read was The Square Root of Summer by Harriet Rooter Hapgood. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but oh well. So this is a YA book, and basically it's about this girl, and her name is Gotti, I think, and it's basically about her summer, and she has a lot of things going on because basically she's very into physics and astronomy and things like that. So she spends the summer, and it's just about different things, how she has like a summer love with a boy that she used to know, and he actually comes and moves in with his family. All of her family is quite eccentric, including her grandfather, who sadly passed away earlier, and it's basically about her coming to terms with that, and it's about grief, and she's also dealing with grief not only in losing her grandfather, but also her mom died when she was young, so she's just coming to terms with that. And then of course she also has this boy who she thinks that she's in love with, and there's kind of like a love triangle going on. And she also has her best friend there, where there's some drama with her going on as well. And basically it's just about her her summer and how she deals with all of these things. I gave this book 3 stars. I found it enjoyable, but to be quite frank, I felt that something was missing, and sometimes it felt like it was very slow. It's a very slow book. However, I did enjoy the writing style, and I think one of the things that I enjoyed was because the main character Gotti, she's very into physics and astronomy, as I mentioned before. You kind of have like excerpts of the page in her pages, or like in the chapters where she includes some of her her thoughts about different kind of formulas and things like that. Basically she is exploring the idea of time travel, so that's kind of incorporated with that in the book, so that's kind of like a nice medium. But yeah, I mean, it was cute, but yeah, it was kind of slow to my liking, and not really that much happened in it. So yeah, nothing really wrong with it, but yeah, it's just that. And yeah, so that's the first one that I read. Well, not the first one. I'm not going through these books in the particular order that I read them, but yeah, that's the first one in my pile. The next book that I read was Little and Lion by Brandy Colbert, and this is a YA novel, and it's about these 2 characters. Well, the main character, it's about Suzette, and basically it's about her coming back for the summer to her home and her family in California, and she, after spending her school year at boarding school on the East Coast. And this book explores lots of different topics. For example, Suzette is black, and her stepbrother is white, and it's about her family dynamics, and that is an issue which is very much explored in V, or like not an issue but a topic that is very much included, so there's a lot of diversity in the book, so that's kind of refreshing to see. I don't think I've ever read a book with that much like diversity in terms of families and things like that. But the main thing is that the main story is that Suzette comes home from being at boarding school, and it's basically about her settling into life back at home. But it also deals with one big topic, and that is because her stepbrother, Lion, or his nickname is Lion, but his name is Lionel, has recently been diagnosed the past year with bipolar disorder, and it's basically about how she has to come to terms with that, because essentially her parents didn't really know how to deal with it, so they thought it was best to send her away to boarding school, and essentially it's about her coming to terms with that, and like you see how her brother is dealing with the issues that come along with it, and basically he kind of has, not, I don't know if you refer to relapse, or but yeah, he just deals with it, and there's something that happens, and it's basically about her coming to terms with it, and also it's also about friendship, and there's a boy that she's in love with, and it's also her like talking and exploring her sexuality, because that's something which is covered in the book. And I really enjoyed this book. It was so different. It was I really liked the writing style, but I also really enjoyed the amount of different varied topics that it covers. Like, it covers diversity, it covers mental health problems such as bipolar and other topics, which I won't get into, but it does. But it also it covers like topics such as you finding out your sexuality and things like that, and it is also like it's about family. That's really an important element in this book, obviously, because it's about her and her stepbrother, but also what I found refreshing was that it's about like, you know, diverse families and not necessarily like the norm, which is quite refreshing, because I feel like that's a subject which is not really talked about or explored a lot these days. So yeah, it was really refreshing to see that explored. So yeah, I really liked this. So I believe I gave it 4 stars. Yeah, so yeah, I really enjoyed that. I believe the author has another book which is called Finding Yvonne, I believe, and that looks really good too, so I really want to pick that up if I can. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book, so yeah, I read that one. The next 2 books are kind of like linked together, and when I show you them, you'll understand why. So the first book, so these books have been on my TBR for a very long time, and the reason why I didn't read them until now was because I wanted to read them together, or not together, like basically both of them at the same time. And that is, the first one is Dumpling, and that is about, it's called Dumpling by Julie Murphy. And basically, I'm sure this book, everybody knows it because it's been around quite a while, and I believe it's also been turned into a Netflix movie, which unfortunately I can't find anymore. I did watch it when it first came out, not knowing that it was a book, which often happens, and but for some reason I can't find it anymore on Netflix, or online, so I don't know what happened to that, but which is a shame, because I would like to like rewatch it when I have finished this book, but I don't know. If anybody knows, comment down below. But anyway, for those of you who don't know what this is about, This is about a girl named Willowdene, and Willowdene lives in this small town in Texas, and Willowdene is quite open and honest, and quite accepting and proud in that sense that she is a bigger girl and fat, and she kind of has always known this, and she's always, I think she's always struggled with it, but she's coming to terms with it. However, her mom is like very the opposite. Like, she is this former beauty pageant queen, and she's very much into that still, and like she's still on the board for that, and she's still very much into it, and she's always tried to encourage Willowdene, or what her mom's nickname for her is Dumpling. So she always been trying to get her into that, or not really get into it, but she's always pushed like a whole, her trying to lose weight and like focusing very much on her body, and the whole aspect of that. And I think Willowdene has always like been she's kind of rebelled against that, and like she says that well, she knows that she's not like the perfect model or anything like that, but she embraces that, and I found it really refreshing. And yeah, it's basically about her and her life and her in her town and her friends, and yeah, it's also about her getting together with her boyfriend and having a relationship, and how she deals with her own body issues, and eventually just accepting herself for her and who she is in her own skin, and just like standing up and be proud of it. And it explores that a lot, and especially with her relationship with her mom and everything like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and yeah, it's just refreshing. It's I really liked it, and I'm sure I'm not the best person to comment on it because on the representation, because I mean, I'm not. Okay, I don't know what happened there. I think my camera is like, I don't know what's going on, but let's try this again. Where was I? Yeah, so it's just, I really enjoyed it because it's just a story about her, Willowdene, like embracing herself, and acknowledging her self-worth, and yeah, just her navigating, regular high school things like as a teenager, but also just thinking about those things, and it's just like standing up for herself. And yeah, and I think that's a really positive message, because regardless whether you are, plus size or size zero, everybody should stand and hold their head up and with pride, no matter what you do. I think that's such an important thing, because to be quite honest, there's no point in trying to fit in with society. So yeah, it's just really nice to see Willowdene's like journey to reaching that point, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. So I think I gave this book 5 stars. So yeah, 5 stars for that one. So now the second book in this series, which is kind of related, is this companion novel to Dumpling, which is called Puddin', or Pudding. I don't know how to say it, but Puddin'. And this is also by Julie Murphy, and it follows. It's a companion book to Dumpling, and it follows one of Willowdene's friends, which her name is Millie, and you see her in Dumpling as her becoming one of like Willowdene's friends in her group, and this is essentially about Millie, and she has always been the girl, like she's always gone to fat camp. She knows that she is fat, and she has accepted this. However, her mom has always, and her parents have always encouraged her to, drop the weight, and always been very pressing about that, and yeah, so that's always been in the back of her mind. But she's like accepted it. She knows who she is. Like she knows, she's accepted for who she is, and she kind of embraces it. Like she's described as this character. Like she always wears bright and cute clothes and things like that. And yeah, really just she is completely like almost at peace at it. But anyway, and it follows her and how she like with Millie, she's always had a dream to become a journalist or a TV presenter, and essentially during this during her new semester, I don't know if they've started their new semester or they're about to, but essentially Millie has a job working at her uncle's gym there after school, and essentially one day her gym gets the gym gets broken into and vandalized, and so it turns out that the girl who was kind of responsible for it, or well, she was responsible for it. Her name is Callie, and she's part of I think it's a dance team. Yeah, the dance team for her high school, and essentially her dance team was set to go to I think it's the nationals. I don't know, really know about that scene, like high school dances or anything, but it's a big dance competition, and they were due to go to the nationals competitions for dance, and essentially one of the sponsors at the last minute decides to pull their funding for the travel and so on, and essentially that kind of leaves the team in a sticky spot, and in response to that, the whole team, the whole dance team, which Callie is part of, they decide to go and they essentially vandalized the gym, which was the sponsor that pulled out, and which is a gym which is the gym which is owned by Millie's uncle. And anyway, when they do that, it apparently it turns out that they see that Callie was caught on the camera, but only her was caught on the camera, so of the security footage at the gym, and basically we found out that it was her and the dance team that did it, but it only shows her face, so essentially she gets the blame for it. And in order to repent or like to make up for it, instead of pressing charges, Millie's uncle, which is the owner of the gym, they make her work at the gym in order to cover the damages, and Callie also gets kicked off the dance team, and for her that's a huge blow because that's something which is really a big part of her life, and that's what she strives for. And then in order, because Callie gets sent to work at the gym, she essentially has to work with Millie, and these two, they have never really been friends, or at least Callie has never really liked Millie because she is a cheerleader, and she just thinks she's always seen Millie as this fat girl, and the prejudices that come with that, she hasn't really never seen her as anything else. So they are forced to work together, and under these circumstances for Callie to make up the time, and an unlikely friendship kind of bonds between them. You kind of don't really expect it, but yeah, it's just about them. Like, at first they don't really like each other for different reasons, and yeah, it just like you see how they eventually they kind of blossom into this beautiful friendship, and it's just exploring different topics, and of course the friendship group which is part of sorry, the friendship group that Millie is part of, which includes Willow Dean and the other friends which are followed more closely in Dumplin, the first book, that's covered, and it's just, yeah, it's a book a lot about friendship, and yeah, I really enjoyed it, and they face different challenges on the way, not in terms, not only the regular high school stuff, but also it's also about like Millie, how she is accepting, no, not really accepting, because she has come, if for example Dumplin, you follow Willow Dean and she's kind of coming to terms with accepting her for who she is and in the body that she is in. Millie, she's already past that point. She has accepted herself, but she's just getting other people to accept that and see her for what she's worth. And yeah, it's just how she's navigating that, and yeah, there's just different aspects of it, and I really enjoyed it. It was just like, I don't know, it's just such a, I don't know, it's such a warm story in a way, but it also explores different topics, so which are important, like self-worth and things like that. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. And what I really enjoyed, because I didn't expect, because obviously I'd read the first book and I knew that the second book was about Millie, which is like, because it's a companion book, but I thought that this book was only going to be about from Millie's perspective, but it's actually told from dual perspectives, both from Callie's and Millie's perspective, in alternating chapters. So that's something that I found really nice, like a nice surprise, because you get to see both sides of the story. I know you follow both of these girls like journeys, with different things, like Millie getting people to accept her for who she is, and then Kelly realizing that, what is life after she, does certain things and she gets kicked off, like the dance team, and, what else is there, like, and basically just her dealing with this stuff. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I don't know if I would pick out of these two books which one I enjoyed the most. I don't know. I think I enjoyed the second book put in more than Dumplin. I mean, both books were great, but I just really enjoyed the dual narration, or dual points of view from both characters, because yeah, I always really enjoyed that. So yeah, but I enjoyed both of these books equally. So anyway, now the last book that I read in August, I don't have a physical copy of because I read it on Kindle, but I'm gonna insert a picture here or there, I don't know yet. But that is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I'm not gonna talk in depth about this book that much, because I already have like a book review video up on it. If you haven't checked that out, then please do. You can see my full thoughts about it. But essentially, Beach Read, I read this book because it's quite a hyped up book here on Booktube, and I was really pleasantly surprised. It lived up to the hype. So essentially what it's about, I'm going to keep it short, it's about this character named January, and she's a writer, and essentially she inherits this beach house from her dad after he dies, and her neighbor is kind of her rival, like, and is also a writer, and he's kind of her rival, and they decide to swap genres, like January writes romance books, and her neighbor Gus writes thrillers. So essentially, for the summer, they decide to swap genres because in order to combat their the writer's block, and yeah, and it's a romance. It's a romance contemporary book, and yeah, it's basically about that. I'm not going to go into much more detail, but I can say that I really enjoyed it and it was a nice surprise, and I get the hype. And I believe I gave that one 4 stars. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's all the books that I read in August. And what did you read in August? Have you read any of these books? And if so, what did you think? What has been your favorite book that you read in August? Please comment down below because I'd really like to know. I love watching these kind of videos. So, yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. Sorry if this video seemed a bit rushed, but it's not. It's just that, I don't know, I'm annoyed with my camera issues. I don't know what the hell is going on, but yeah. And I'm sorry about the weird lighting. I'm trying to work with it, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's all of the books that I read in August, and yeah. So I can't wait for September. There's gonna be hopefully a lot of reading going on, and yeah, hopefully a new video covering about my September to be read is coming soon. So if you want to see that, please like and comment down below. You're probably anyway going to see it, but yeah, if you're excited about that, then please let me know. If you have something that you think that I should really read next month, then please let me know because I'm always looking for suggestions. Anyway, yeah, so anyway, those were all the books that I read in August. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Yeah, if you could just, one final thing, sorry if I sound so formal, but no, I was just gonna ask, like, if you could please, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and if you could also please check out my Bookstagram, which is at I'd Read More Books, because that would really help me out. And yeah. Yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed it. I really hope you're having a good day wherever you are. I don't know when this video is going up, but today is Friday, so happy Friday. But yeah, I really hope that you're having a good day, and I hope that it's filled with lots of reading. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!